Initiating Commander's Log broadcast. Link up complete. Upload successful.
Hi everyone, my name is John Harper and welcome to episode 5 of the Commander's Log. At least it would be if I could get this damn radio tune. Lave Radio, the hottest show this side of DSO, would be if I could hear them on DSO. Here we go, 2 quiet suns. That'll do. I just happen to have a signal amplifier in the cargo hold. No, don't ask me where I got it from. Some questions are best left unanswered. But I better take it over to the guys at Lave Radio so you can actually hear them in DSO. On the way, I want to do a shout out to a fellow Elite fiction writer, talk about planetary landings and some other musings on Elite, and then have a quick chat about my novel. So hold tight as I throw this cobra into hyperspace. I'm not sure if anyone noticed, but last time when I was talking to John Stabler I was in such a rush to get my gas, I forgot to do a fiction shout out that I promised. Oops. So before I forget again, I wanted to mention an Australian that I know. He's already down on points for being on the wrong side of the ditch. And for you UKers, that's Antipodean Human. But he's a really great writer of Frontier Elite fiction. He was one of the original contributors to the first instalment of the huge Plasma Accelerator. His character's name is Red Ravens, who's a short, stocky man from a high-G world, and in the HBA saga he co-owns a constructor with an Imperial princessy type lady. She flies, he shoots, and they kick some ass in between arguing with each other. Great fun, and he's always a great read. His name's Ben Peake, and he's moved away from fanfic now and into his own universe work. I personally always look forward to reading his stuff. He has a blog too at redravens.wordpress.com. There's not much here at the moment, so I suggest reading the first HBA saga, and if you like what Red Ravens gets up to, go and check out his blog. The 5th Frontier Developments newsletter is just hot off the press. Yeah, some pretty nice information in there. Federation capital ship looks nice. It's sort of the structural elements that have been added, especially in the back, sort of makes it look like a more industrial utilitarian beast, more in line with the Federation look. And I'll be using some capital ships in my novel. I'm hoping for some even bigger ones than that. Not sure if that freighter is for me though. I'd rather scoot around to one of those Imperial fighters, even if it is likely to kill my back due to the posture of the pilot. I'm good to see the procedural generation still on track, like the drabble for Dave Hughes there. I've just uploaded my own drabble to the writers forum. Hopefully that one's not too far away. It's a bit of a teaser for my novel, Anti the Wheel. Stars my protagonist, Robert Gary, and I hope you like it when it shows up. I was asked the other day what it feels like to be in an elite group, so to speak, of authors who have completed official elite novel drafts. I had to say that I hadn't really thought about it, but on reflection, it didn't really feel like anything. The draft is nice, and it's a big accomplishment, but it's not a published novel. It's only really half the battle, so ask me again in March 2014 how it feels, and then I'm sure I have some real feelings for you. In the private writers forum, there's been a lot of talk about in-system jumps. There's just not enough information to go on at this stage. Not even Frontier have figured out exactly what's going to happen yet. Whether it's going to be a game thing to get you from A to B faster, whether it's actually going to be part of the narrative fiction of Elite, whether NPCs can use it or not. We don't know, we can't really say anything about it. At the moment I've sort of glossed over it in my novel until I know for sure exactly what I'm doing. Planetary landings was covered on the features request, and Lave Radio had a pretty good discussion on it. It's funny, I think the split of favouring or not planetary landings is pretty close to the split between the old generation of Elite and the new generation of Frontier. And on the Lave Radio it was half and half, I think. As John Stabler and I discussed on my last podcast, the forums feel to have more Elite people as opposed to Frontier people as the regulars. I have to agree with Fozzer. I think planetary landings are immensely important. All the points are valid on both sides of the argument, and I agree, there's going to be a good chance that there's a lot of empty space that's of no use to anyone. But really, who cares? There's a planet there, and damn it, I want to explore it. I want to land there. I want to look around the city. I want to watch the clock tick over. I want to see the buildings. I want to take off. I want to fly towards the stars. Watch the atmosphere change in shades from yellow to white, blue, purple, black. See the stars start to twinkle before me. Experience the sea floor up to the end of the atmosphere. The whole seamless journey. My imagination's going to look after the rest. I mean, that's what we all did with Elite in the first place. We use our imaginations to fill in the gaps. I'm more than prepared to do that for Elite Dangerous. I think a very cool part of the game, like Fozzie mentioned, was the secret missions that involved finding an empty planet with a small listing station or secret research station or whatever it was, and then blowing the Jesus out of it. The mining and MB4s never really did anything for me. I mean, did anyone ever get that to work, or was it just me that couldn't figure it out? I remember that the mining page on your manifest didn't actually tell you which system it was, or what planet, so once I got a Panther Clipper, I seeded 8 systems of MB4s, and then I never found them again. The ones I did find, even if I left them for months and months, I got maybe 5 tons of minerals. Yay. 30 credits of pure profit, less the fuel and the weeks of wages for my crew, and if my ship deteriorates, it's going to be even worse. Still, the planetary environment is something that's pretty important to the Elite Dangerous universe. Even if it isn't used to its maximum extent, it should be there, and I'll be counting down to it. In saying that, I think the plans to have night lights on the planets to still sort of give us that sense of life down there and backstory that we can make up in our imaginations. That'll keep us occupied for the good 12 months. We'll have to wait for the planetary landings. I can just imagine pulling into dock at the space station, turning around to check out the planet, and watching the night lights disappear under a Terminator. City lights on one side, daylight on the other. Man, that would be really cool.
Approaching Lave Station.
Good old Lave Station. Nice to see you again. Once I've dropped off this signal amplifier, might check out one of those hoopy casinos. Maybe load up on some Lavian brandy. Right, better check in with Port Command for clearance.
Remlock, warning. Remlock, warning. Remlock, warning.
I see it. Some poor space has been blown out of an airlock. Okay, let's see if I can patch into his Remlock signal.
I'm okay. Oh, thanks space for my Remlock. Okay, technician. Remember your academy training. Oh, what am I talking about? I never went to the academy. Don't panic. The station computer will register what's happened and she will send out an escape capsule recovery pod. Oh, God, I think I'm going to throw up. What happens if you throw up in a Remlock? Don't think about it. Here's the ECRP coming now. Closer. Closer. Hold on a second. That's a rubbish collection tug. Where's the ECRP? That computer witch. If this is her idea of a joke. Okay. It's getting nearer. Nearer. Oh, space is coming in too fast. Slow down, you stupid
This doesn't look good. That tug's just sent him cartwheeling away from the station. Looks like we're going to have to do something. Plotting an intercept course. Depressurizing cargo bay.
Warning, depressurization alert. Warning, depressurization alert. Warning,
Bay doors open.
depressurization alert.
Matching speed. And... interception! The crowd goes wild!
Cargo bay sealed. Restoring life support.
Let's see what a new visitor has to say for himself.
You're gonna clean that up, right? You! I thought I recognized the name Wayfarer. You're the idiot that toasted me with this ship in the docking bay a couple of weeks back.
Bozza, that was you?
It was, John. You never heard of checking your rearview monitors before firing up your engines?
Yeah, look, I'm sorry, buddy, but I'm also the idiot that saved your space's ass from being the latest piece of frozen junk orbiting Lave. So cut me some slack, eh?
Oh, fates! We were in the middle of recording the radio show when I got pulled into the airlock. The rest of the guys are going to be wondering where I am.
No worries, mate. We'll get you back there in no time. I'll just get on the line to traffic control.
Cobra Mark 3,
Request confirmed. Docking be cleared for landing.
Thanks, traffic control. Docking computer engaged. I was actually on my way to deliver a signal amplifier to you guys. I couldn't even pick you up in DSO. Hopeless. So hopefully it helps.
Really? I would have thought our range would be much further than DSO. I'll install it in the Sidewinder and you can let us know if it's improved, but cheers for that, mate.
No problems, yeah. So, moonlighting as an engineer. You haven't figured out that's a stupid idea yet?
Mate, to be honest, it's the only thing that's going around here at the moment. The job market in Lave is ridiculous.
Is that because of the Lave Revolution, or is something else at play there?
Yeah, I'm sure the revolution has something to do with it, but it's all slowly starting to settle down now.
And you're only a second engineer. That's a bit rough. You need to work yourself up to a first engineer, start getting the good jobs.
Yeah, you're telling me. The current first engineer, Lieutenant Blaggart, is an absolute nightmare of a boss to work for. He's half the reason I got blown out of that airlock in the first place.
I was going to say, he probably doesn't get blown out airlocks. It's the wrong gig for you, mate. Yeah, were you born on Lave?
Oh, fate, no. I was originally from the core systems. I was a successful trader, but a business deal went wrong. I lost my cargo, my ship, and I couldn't afford my creditors. So, after doing a few months in an orange correctional Sidewinder, I managed to unlock the automatic self-destruct on the ship and leave the system and head out here. I've been keeping a low profile ever since.
Yeah, I was going to say, you didn't really have that gal cop look about you. More of a core type man. It sounds like you're keeping pretty busy here. 2 jobs. What's happening next on Lave Radio? Any side projects of your own going on? I hear they're going to let you near the editing studio.
John's starting to let me push his buttons a bit now. So, yeah, we've got a couple of things in the offing. The latest one is a new show that we're releasing out called The Conclave. And the idea of The Conclave is that we're getting some of the elite commanders from the community basically coming into the show and talking about some of the hot topics of the development cycle.
Okay. I didn't really get an invite to that one. That's interesting.
Yeah, but mate, you've been out of the system for a long time. You've been in DSO, so it's an open invitation. Anybody can come on board. Just send me a communique and I'll put your name on the list.
Yeah, my time always seems to be out of sync with you, so...
Well,
yeah.
The questions that you sent through for the last show were really well received, so hopefully with any luck, even if you're in the different system, we should still be able to get a recording from you to play on the next show.
Great. Yeah, I can put some more through to you as well. So, you ever get a chance to get off the station, blast around the stars, or are you just fixing remlock machines and vending machines all the time?
Yeah, I don't think I need to tell you that the pay for a second technician isn't exactly great, so trying to get enough money scraped together so I can actually afford some hydrogen fuel to get off this boat it's taken me a while. So no, I'm just doing everything, every shift I can possibly do, every single repair job that comes through. I'm pretty much snapping it up just so I can try and save some credits.
All right. So what would what's your dream ship once you saved up enough cash?
Well, my original ship back in the core was a Python.
Oh, yeah.
And it was gorgeous. It was customized. It had a fully spec'd out interior. I mean, that was just a luxury dreamboat. The space on those things was just amazing. So if I could ever get back up to the sort of level where I could afford a Python, I would be out of here.
Well, before I stumbled into you, so to speak, I was actually thinking of hitting the Hoopy casinos on the station. So if I have some good luck, I'll drop by the recording studio, let you know.
That's great, because as it is, I'm going to have to spend certainly this week's the wages on a new wrench. I lost mine when I went out the airlock. I loved that wrench.
Chrome vanadium or something a bit tougher?
No, it was chrome vanadium, but it was had a really nice handle on it. I can see we're coming into dock, so I better get back to the guys, and I'd love to think that they weren't continuing without me, but I'm sure they probably have been, but I need to get back and keep them in line.
Automatic docking sequence active. Proceeding to docking bay 3.
Right, then I'll pass you the signal amplifier. I'll head to the casinos, and
very
I
much.
might come in and check up on you guys, see how you're going.
Perfect. That'd be great. Good luck, John.
Good luck, mate, and next time you have a pay rise or pay round, talk to them about health insurance, will you?
Chance would be a fine thing. But thanks for the save, mate. I appreciate it.
No drama, buddy. I'll catch you later.
Cheers, bud.
Bye.
It's been a fortnight of two halves since my last podcast. The first week was a furious race to the finish. I completed the draft, made a quick movie of myself finishing the manuscript, then I sat down and gave myself a pat on the back. I updated my website with some analysis of the draft, and I also uploaded my plan going forward. I've already failed to keep up with that. I haven't even touched the manuscript yet since I finished, and I probably won't for another week. After updating the site and making that movie, I've gotten involved in Jagged Alliance Flashback. It's a reset of the Jagged Alliance franchise, and it's seeking funding on Kickstarter. I've made a teaser trailer for the game, which is available on my YouTube channel. If you're a fan of any of the previous Jagged Alliance games, you should really check it out, if only for the following reason. Everyone who pledges gets the classic pack free. That's a digital download of all the previous games, absolutely free. Perfect for the nostalgia we've all been feeling lately with Elite. I've also been writing an article about suspense writing. I've talked about it a bit, and I'm finally doing it. It's actually a lot harder than I envisaged, of course. I'm deconstructing a scene from two different novels, each full of suspense, each written a different way. And while it's clear in my head what's going on in the book, translating this cogently onto the article is a bit of a challenge, but what I'm working on. I've had quite a few visits to the website lately, and a lot of new followers on Twitter. So hello, and thanks to all the new people following my journey. I hope I can keep you entertained for the next year or so. PayPal money has continued to come in through the site. I'm up to around $400 American at the moment, which is quite nice. Thank you for everyone who's pledged. As you know, I'm working towards making an audiobook version of Anne Hear the Wheel, and the costs that I've come up with are probably going to be around the $2,000 mark New Zealand to hire a studio. One of my backers, who paid for the right to name a character, had asked for a certain type of individual, and I crafted one accordingly. But the poor man's pining after a woman, and now he needs a different kind of character. This means that now I have this other character, whose role is not insignificant in the story, has no name and needs a name. So I'm thinking it might be time for another naming competition, but perhaps one that's a bit more exciting than last time. Does anyone out there have any ideas, any thoughts? Email me at john@andhearthewheel.co.nz and let me know what you think. So all of this stuff has been keeping me pretty occupied. Once everything I've been talking about is sorted out, I'll be back tackling the draft. If you listened to the last podcast, you'll know my editing plan. But basically, I'm going to be skim reading the whole novel, ignoring any micro faults I find, any areas which I think I can improve, but looking at macro faults instead. Are there scenes missing? Does a scene miss the mark? Does it add to the narrative drive? Are the right characters in it? Too many characters, perhaps. Maybe I can combine some. These are the kind of questions I'll be asking myself through May as I take my draft 0 up to a draft. If you looked at my last update on my website, you'll see that I'd aimed for a major plot point to happen around the 20% mark, and as the drafts came out, it was only 17%. So I'm going to have to take a good hard look at that first 20-25% of the novel and see what I can do to balance the novel up and make things happen at the right time. They're not arbitrary points. There actually is a science behind it to do with how the brain works. But in layman's terms, you need a certain amount of time before the major plot point to give the reader enough time to get to know the characters and come to love them or hate them, but to have empathy for them and care for them either one way or the other. You need a certain amount of time for that to happen so that when the first plot point comes along, you're actually invested and you actually care. If it's too early, you might not care. If it's too late, then you sort of have the sense of the story dragging along and you might lose interest in the novel before you even get to the first plot point. So it's important that I get it right, and I'll be working on that in May as well. Well, here we are. Some sort of casino anyway. Might just stop in for a second. So before I disappear in there, thanks again for listening to the podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any criticisms or accolades, please let me know. There's been no new reviews on iTunes, so shame on you. Shame on all of you. Now, to cover my discreet entry into the casino, I'll play a little of Two Quiet Sons. You've probably heard them already on Lave Radio, and that's because Two Quiet Sons are awesome. Nice ambient music. Just right to sign off to. So goodbye, good luck, and we'll talk next time. This is Two Quiet Sons and Gateway from their Kepler Mission album. Thanks a lot.
deactivated.